Check out these 5 steps on how to build your own MOC. This is something I think a lot of people might struggle with, is trying to figure out what to do to make their own creation versus just constantly having to buy new sets. But before you go any further, please like and subscribe to help me continue to make content like this to support you in your building endeavors. It can be a building MOC, like my Whataburger, or more of a modular design, like this craftsman house that I built. Or something as simple as modifying just a little Jeep to give you some transportation in your city. There are few things more gratifying than having your own personal builds in your city, so it doesn't look like you just went out and bought a Lego store and stuck it on the table. Let's go into step 1. The first step to building a MOC is kind of coming up with how you want to start. Do you want to build something large like a building, or small like a Jeep? Ultimately, you have to figure out what direction you want to go. And if you're struggling with ideas, looking online, going through the Facebook groups, looking around your house or your home, or doing something you really enjoy, and building from there, because you really need to have some sort of passion behind the build, especially early on, so that you can really express a piece of you in that build. Recently, I picked up the Jurassic Park Jeep sets, and I really like some of the features on the Jeep. And so this first step is about modifying things that Lego's already created for you, or building something that mirrors something Lego created. For me, it was the Jeep. I really liked how Lego made the roll cage. And so I went back, found a bunch of bricks, and modified my roll cage to match the roll cage on the Jurassic Park Jeep. So as you can tell, both roll cages look somewhat different, but it allowed me to turn one of my Jeeps, I had had this built for quite a long time, into something that had a little bit more of a feel of a Jeep, using some of the techniques that the master builders at Lego did. And so modifying your builds from builds designed by Lego really is a great way to start doing MOCs. And I would say at least 30 or 40% of my builds come from that design factor. It's just taking something that I really liked from a set and modifying it. You can do the same thing with buildings as well. So if you notice this police station I have here in front of me, it looks very much like the Lego set that it was mirrored from. And that's because I took the set that really was only a few studs deep and converted it into a full-size 32 by 32 MOC with a complete interior. Let me show you what it looks like inside. So Lego uses a lot of modular techniques, which I mirrored here on this police station. So the entire roof panel is a modularly removable roof panel. And if you notice, I put plates along the top, as well as a few different vents and other pieces just to keep it smooth, so that for my police station, I could remove the roof and access the inside of the building, just like it was a modular. These are techniques I learned building modulars. So I was able to establish the layout and build the design around a modular concept while still being a MOC building. And then the next floor removes the same way as the first. Now, with that, you can always take some license. So with my build, I left a few pieces kind of sticking out on this one. So as you can notice here, the staircase is going out a platform from the first floor, partly because I needed the first floor to be tall enough to allow for my sally port to be able to park not only a police car, but also the police van, like the paddy wagon. And then I put this piece so that I'd have more of an architecturally appealing design sticking out, so that as the walls come down, it gave a little bit more of a connected feeling to the first floor. And that just comes from practice. Figure out what you like from modulars and what you think you can modify. This next step is about making mistakes, being willing to continue to refine and try again. I want to show you my final product of a little vending machine I made. It's clean, it's simple, it fits in a city. I even went through and made some decals for it. But ultimately, this product is not what I started with. If you look here, I originally started with trying to do some sort of a rocker design. I wanted to be able to deliver one can at a time, but what I found was gravity wasn't working in my favor, and it would constantly jam. I'd get 2 or 3 little one by one tubes in there, and I couldn't get it to operate. So I had to stop building on this design, which, as you can tell, is not polished and not matching colors. Really, it was just a quick build for me to get the concept of what I wanted built into a product. And before that design, this was the mod. So what turned into a red soda machine originally was just a bunch of blocks to see if I could even balance the wheel at the right distance and spacing to be able to roll through and drop those one by ones. With MOC development, you have to be willing to make mistakes. Since you don't have a design to work from, you want to build, take apart, play with it, test it out, rearrange it. Really don't be a perfectionist. Many MOCs can take quite a long time to get to where you want them to be. A lot of time when you're building MOCs, you may not have all the bricks you want in front of you. And that's where using the Lego Studio designer software will really be there to help. I have a whole video on how to use Studio and how to get it, which I have included in the description. So please go check out that video if you want to know more about the Studio software. But let me show you what you can get with Studio. So by using the software, I was able to go through and build this custom temple using many different techniques and ideas, going through on the software and just kind of playing with it, figuring out what worked for me. So using the software really is a great tool, and it's one that I hope you look at. But sometimes just going and grabbing bricks and snapping them together, that's really all we need. Don't feel like you have to always make everything perfect. Using Studio software or building just free build, there's a lot more to building Lego than making it look like that pristine MOC, especially if you're trying to develop your own creativity. So don't be afraid to build something that's completely out of the ordinary, using random color or random shapes, because ultimately that's how you develop your technique. Because each of us, just like artists, have our own style. Take this tank, for example. My son wanted to build a tank, and so he jumped into the bricks and just started building with a picture of an old World War II Patton tank. And as you can see, he was able to build a tank with a fully functional turret, as well as rolling treads. And yeah, the colors aren't amazing, but it's his build, and that's really what matters. MOC building is really all about trying your own way and figuring out for yourself, whether you're a 10-year-old or you're well past 10 years old. I hope that you have fun going into MOCs, and let me know if there's anything specific that you'd like to learn. Thank you, and I please hope that you will subscribe so that you can help me continue to make content like this for you.